So I'm going to move my little power system into this shed that we just got about a month ago. So about got the house painted except for the trim, and my wife's gonna do the trim work, and I'm gonna get over here onto this. So I got this little system. It's 400 watt system, so there's 100 watts on each one of those panels, and I got batteries, inverter, and everything into that old toolbox right there. So it's just been sitting on the ground. It's been working really nice, but it's time to move forward and put everything into this shed. And I got to take the wires from that right there and go into the shed. So these wires, I did this trenching work and everything a while back. Put these on there to protect it, and so when you're digging down, you hit the end of it with the shovel, you don't tear anything up. This is like a little protector plate. It's a lid off a 5-gallon bucket. So now I'm gonna have to pull everything out of here. There's the inverter, and I've got a switch right there, and over here a couple of batteries, and all that I'm moving into the shed. Now this stuff's going to be replaced later on with something bigger, a bigger system and all, but the wiring's still going to be in there. So anytime I'm going to upgrade, I'll be able to go in to the shed here. It'll be on that wall right there. All my wires and everything will be right there. So it's going to be much easier to deal with. And I'll have the batteries somewhere right in here. And when we get the next panels, set of 12 panels, are like 300 watt panels, they will be going on this mound. I kind of built it up right there with dirt, did some tractor work to build that up so that I can do the solar array will be right there, and the end of the wires are under that little rock right there. There's the wellhead. So I just pull that rock out, my wires are right there to go from the panel into the shed. So I'm going to put all of that now into the shed. So it'll go from the shed to the house, to the well, to the panel. All that's going to be interconnected. The only thing that'll be temporary are the wires right here on this temporary setup. So these solar wires right here, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, but that's going to be temporary. That's going to have to come back out. So I'll probably have to drill a different hole for those wires into the side of the shed, and maybe just put a patch over it or leave it there. Maybe I'll leave the setup there because I plan on doing a wind turbine later on, and I could just use that for the wind turbine wires coming in. So anyway, let's get to work on this and get it going. All right, this is what we got. Now, got that box out of here. Just stuck it over there for now. And you gotta pull all these wires right here. I'm gonna pull this off and pull these wires up through here, hopefully. I mean, I got them in here, so I probably get them back out. And then I'm gonna cut this right here and then put a coupling right there, and then run it straight over to the shed and then put the sweep back in. I don't know, I got other sweeps. I don't know if I'll use this one or get one of my new ones. And that's what I got to get going now. All right, I got all the wires pulled out of there. Now I'm gonna have to see if I can get the camera right there. I gotta cut it right in here so I can get my coupling in there and then run it over here. I might have to, I'm gonna have to heat that straight piece of tubing up and bend it a little bit and get it, weaken it down with some heat, you know, and where you can bend it and then bend it any shape you want. Probably have to do that, and let's go. So I heated up that tube and bend it. You can see a little burn mark there. I bent it. Right now, all I gotta do is put my sweep. Got the hole drilled there. Put my sweep up to go through that hole. I'm using one of these small torches like this in a bottle, and that's why you get those burn marks in it. You got to really keep moving it around a lot because it's such a small flame there. It's small and hot. A rosebud type torch works a lot better, but that's all I got, so it works. Okay, I got my PVC conduit all cut and fitted up. Now I don't have it glued because I don't have any glue. So I'm gonna have to make a run down to the store and get some glue, but the store's like 45 minutes away, so I'm not gonna do it today. What I am gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and pull my wire through there and get it in there so I can hopefully get everything hooked up today. And then I'll just have to glue it together tomorrow while the wire's inside of the tubing. I've done it before. I don't prefer to do it that way, but it does work. It's just a little more of a pain, but I've done it, so I know I can do it this time. Just gotta be careful and methodical when you put it together so you don't screw up. But that's what I'm gonna do. Got the wires pulled through, ready to put the lid back on. I just got them pulled through like that. I'm glad I didn't glue all this in first because it was hard getting all them wires through there. It would have been a lot harder if everything would have been glued together. So I'm just going to run it through like piece by piece, you know, till I get it all through all of them. That'll work. Alright, I got all the wires in, ready to put that lid back on, and then I'll glue it all up. Tomorrow I'll go into town and get some glue and glue everything up. This is what it looks like coming into the shed. You'd think the wires would just be packed into that, but as you can see, there's quite a bit of room in that 1-inch tubing for all them wires. So it's not like they're crammed in there real tight or anything. It's just stiff wire. There's number 10 wires and number 8 wires in there, so it's just real stiff. But yep, we got them in here now, and time to start piecing things together. What's the matter, Mabel? Are they getting your water? Mama and her baby are getting your water, huh? Let's go get them out of here. She'll come over here and, whoa, there you go. And work her way to the water bucket over here and drink it all up with her baby. Woo-hoo! go shoo them off, and they just go out a little ways and hang out for a while, then they come back. There they go. Now they'll probably go over to the garden. All right, I've got all my electrical going in. Everything's glued up. Piece of cake with the wires in there. It wasn't hard to do at all. In fact, that would be the preferred way, because it'd be very difficult with those bends like that to get all those stiff wires through there. So now, this is going to be temporary for now. I'm going from these solar panels, these wires right here. I'm going to run those and conduit into the side right there. So I got to disconnect them in there and pull them through. So now I'm cutting my tubing and bending it. They didn't have any sweeps at the hardware store, those 90-degree sweeps, so I'm doing it with a torch. But as you can see, when you bend them with a torch, they come out pretty good. They're not as round. Well, you can make them rounder, I guess, if you want. It's a little flat, but it won't matter because it's just a couple of those wires going through. Yeah, you can kind of push down on it with your foot while it's cooling and stuff to oval it back, or to round it back out, I should say. That's what I got going now. So I got that piece done, and now I got to cut a piece that goes up to this pole here. You glue it together and run the wires through. All right, I'm in the shed now. So what I'm going to do, that little piece of tape right there, that one, and this piece of tape right there, to the inside, I'm going to put a bend in there with my torch so it comes out to that right there, and that should be about the right size. Then I'll go fit it up and make sure it works. Stretch it out just a little longer. need some water. I'll use spit, because that's what I got. Try to cool it down faster. Man, it's hot. Looks about right, and this stuff's pretty flexible. This should work. Yeah, this should work just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and run my wires through it, glue it all together, glue it together, and then put the wires through on this one. Should be just fine. Before I start messing with the wires on these panels, it's full sunlight right now. They're charging the battery, so I'm gonna have to throw a quilt, you know, a cover over the top of these panels to shield them from the sun, so there's no charge going in, and then I'll disconnect everything and run the wires through and connect it all back up. All right, got it all glued together, wires pulled through, and now I'm gonna fill it in with dirt, and I'm gonna put some clamps on here, you know, to hold that there, and then I'll put some tape around this just to seal it. This one's only gonna be on there for, we're hoping, about a year. Next year we'll go in with our permanent solar system. Right over there, can't wait to do it. Get that all done, have more power, but this will get us through another winter. Well, I've got it cleaned up now. Just thinking about putting those cinder blocks all the way around. I need to get some more and do a little better job, but they keep that wind from whistling around underneath there and blowing all the dirt out from under those bricks that are holding up the that's the foundation, is those bricks. So you don't want that dirt to blow out from underneath it, which it will. We get some bad winds. And then in here, it's just a temporary setup. So I think I'm just gonna leave it laying down there instead of mounting it up here on the wall. But when we get the permanent stuff, I'm gonna do a nice, neat job. And go and mount it up there on the wall. Come on, guys. Come on, go on. Come on, buddy. There. Stubborn guy. All right, that about does it for this video. Got everything all set in there and nice and neat and ready for the permanent stuff. So what I did is pretty much permanent, but then the next stuff will be. So we'll talk to you later on the next video.